Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Foxy New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. Jesse Vargas, Mikey Garcia. It was an interesting fight. Let's just break it down. You know, when you see this fight, you see a few things about the fight. The first thing you realize is that Mikey Garcia is the bigger puncher. Jesse Vargas is the bigger fighter. So those two things have to be, stressed. Jesse Vargas has never been an elite level fighter. That has to be stressed. Mikey Garcia is the more recognizable and bigger name and brand. So we got to keep those things in perspective. You see the fight, and, the judges had it. Two judges had it wide, 116, 111, I believe, and the other one had it a very close 114, 113. They believe the knockdown in the fifth round made the difference as to why Mikey Garcia won, and I'm okay with that because it was really a 1-point change. They had the fight a draw, and they had it Mikey Garcia winning because of the knockdown. I have no problem with that. I think that's a very good scorecard, and even on my scorecard, I had Mikey by 1 round. And if you had another swing round go to Jesse, then Jesse could have even had a draw, or Jesse could have been up by 1. I have no problem with a close scorecard or anything like that. What I do have a problem with is wide scorecards. There was no reason why two judges should have had absolutely absurdly wide scorecards. That was disgusting. When you look at the fight, you see that Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas was very competitive. Jesse Vargas won the first 4 rounds. You can't watch fights with commentators because they're biased. You can't watch fights, with the ringside announcers or their biased scorecards because these guys have an agenda. We got to be honest and unbiased. These guys are pushing a narrative because they want you to believe the way a fight is going. So when a judge gives you these scorecards that are erroneous, you believe it. This fight was absolutely close. Jesse Vargas won the first 4 rounds. They got a little bit tighter at 3 and 4, but Jesse Vargas won those rounds. After that, Mikey Garcia dropped him, and then he won somewhat, the mid rounds, and Jesse Vargas closed the show with the late rounds. So when you look at it, it was a very close fight. It was pieced together. So if you gave the fight one way or another to either fighter by 1 or 2 rounds, I have no problem with that. It was a close, competitive fight. What I do have a problem with is an absolutely absurd scorecard that made no sense. I think that Jesse Vargas was getting dropped was simply the fact that he's going to fight in the pocket because Jesse Vargas is not the type of fighter that moves his feet. He likes to sit in front of you. He gets hit sometimes a little too much. Hence is why that he's never won a big fight in his career. He's won fights. He's a 2-weight world champion, former, but he's never won a big fight against a big name. He's lost against Manny. He's lost against Timothy Bradley. And he had a predictable offense. He forgot and got away from his jab. Had Jesse Vargas just stuck with his jab consistently all night because of his height and reach, he could have pulverized Mikey Garcia the entire fight. Mikey Garcia did put on a good impressive performance by getting on the inside, but this performance also shows that Mikey got on the inside simply because Jesse Vargas allowed the fight to be fought on the inside, not because of anything Mikey Garcia did. And that's not to take credit away from Mikey. Mikey timed Jesse Vargas very well. Mikey Garcia timed him again and again and dropped him flushly and cleanly and almost had him out. If Mikey would have taken a little bit more risk, he could have probably knocked Jesse Vargas out. He had to really put his foot on the gas, but that's not who Mikey Garcia is. Mikey Garcia doesn't like to take risks. Mikey Garcia has a low work rate, and that's why Jesse Vargas was always in the fight. I think it was a very interesting fight, a competitive fight, but I also think the fight was very telling. I think that Mikey Garcia does not belong in the welterweight division. Mikey Garcia needs to move down to 135 or to 140 pounds because against a top-tier welterweight, Mikey Garcia will lose. He's lost 4 rounds against a Jesse Vargas who's never been an elite fighter. So you cannot expect Mikey Garcia to go in against a Terrence Crawford and even be competitive. I think Terrence Crawford stops Mikey Garcia. I truly believe that. I just don't even think that fight's competitive. I think Mikey Garcia against a guy like Sean Porter is overwhelmingly difficult for Mikey, and he maybe gets stopped or pretty much brutalized because Sean Porter is going to be on him like a rabid dog. I think Mikey Garcia is not a welterweight. If he's staying at welterweight, it's simply to cash out against Manny Pacquiao. I think that fight won't even be competitive. Manny Pacquiao has too much speed, too high of a work rate, and too much power. Mikey Garcia is too easy to get hit. Any of these welterweights will be too much for Mikey. If Mikey wants Manny, it's simply for a cash out fight at the welterweight division. Mikey has talked about moving down to 140. 140 and possibly fighting a guy like Devin Haney if he's calling him out, or fighting one of the right fights there, but he really wants to Manny Pacquiao fight. I think that fight, I'm not mad at it if it's a cash out fight for Mikey, but at the end of the day, he's not a welterweight. I would much rather see Manny Pacquiao fight, Spence and Crawford, those guys, but Manny has earned the right to fight whoever he wants to fight. He's literally fought everybody, so Manny Pacquiao's a legend, a Hall of Famer, so I have no problem with that. But at the end of the day, Mikey Garcia is simply not a welterweight. But once again, Unbiased as always, it's the IBFP.